Yo, we are live, 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 we are live. Hey, 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 guys. It is Old Man G here, RDS here, back again with our 10 o'clock show, 10 o'clock UK BST, where we discuss the latest Manchester United transfer news. And obviously, the big news coming out today is Manchester United being in talks with Mbuemo. But remember, guys, if you are new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter at Red Devil Studio X, also on Twitch as well, Red Devil Studio. And yeah, get involved. Like I said, 10 o'clock, these shows are much convenient for me to do. So we'll be going live like 10 o'clock every kind of, most days of the transfer schedule. So make sure you turn on the notifications so you know when we're going to live. Now, big up everyone in the chat. I think Lucky Singh, I think you were there. Yusa was Basoma happy with Eva. Yeah, we'll talk about Basoma. Robert says Madonna's not close, fake news. I mean, there's a question mark in the title. That's it's called the pronunciation as question mark. So that's why it's there. We're clearly in talks with the guy, so it's obviously closer than it was yesterday. SSB, big up, buddy, big up, Samasi, big up, and Detroit, big up, guys, big up, guys. Thank you, guys, for joining in the chat as well. And stay tuned. We will be doing our end of season review. Rich Sports and Eddie should both be on tomorrow, so that will be an interesting day to reflect on how bad Manchester United season has been. We'll be rating a lot of players, etc., etc. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. But yeah, let's quick get into this news. So Ben Jacobs and actually Chris Winesfield. But I'm citing Ben Jacobs because I just find Ben Jacobs a bit more reliable. And he basically said earlier on today that Manchester United have held talks with Bryan Mbuemo and Brentford Mbuemo around £50 million. So we are in talks. You know, we are in talks with Mbuemo from Brentford. I actually think Mbuemo is a good, because I didn't imagine the striker. He's 25 years old. He's got 20 league goals in the Premier League. So we don't have to like think about, oh, is he Premier League proven or blah, 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 blah. You know, he's scoring like as much as people hate Lukaku still scored more goals than most of our recent strikers, you know. So the idea of Premier League proven isn't going to be a thing when the guy's got 20 league goals. 20 league goals. That's not including like what he has in other competitions. Like that's just in the league alone. So for me, if we're saying that, you know, Mbuemo is going to be an option, and clearly we are, because we're having the talks with the guy, I'm certainly here for it. I'm certainly here for it. I would rather Mbuemo than Delap. Like, fair enough, if you want to get both and they can compete, that's fine. But I suspect Delap will be more about Delap will be more about wanting to see our football and blah blah. I don't. There doesn't seem to be many people in from Bremo or interested. And Brentford want 50 million. For me, 50 million for 50. Fundamentally, I mean, 50 million for a guy who's got 20 many goals. Yes, it was only one season. Could it be worse? Yeah, but I mean, it's the thing I would say is that he's at least Premier League proven. Oh yeah, we'll talk about the Ronaldo thing as well. It looks like he's leaving Al Nassr. Dude must be finished, surely, man. Because I mean, where are you going to find a club that is gonna fund your thing? You know, maybe that's why he started YouTube, to be able to. I don't know. There's also reports from Fabrizio coming out. Not on his channel, but I think probably in his videos, that says that Mbuemo suits Manchester United's strategy, a player for the future, and can make an instant impact, Premier League proven. The club appreciates him. And this is what I'm saying. You know, he's only 25, I think, proven in the Premier League already with the goals, and he's a striker. And if he's paying 50 million, That's a steal. We played like this deal makes more sense than spending 72 million on Højlund, you know. But I don't know what people make of that. And I'll put a poll in the thing in the chat in a second. We're making great possible deals, hopefully. I hope Florian Wirtz flops and Liverpool don't win anything. Detroit, I hope Liverpool don't win anything as well. But I mean, Liverpool are scary. They are. I mean, Frimpong, Wirtz. They get another striker for if they sell Nunes. You know, they are going to start look scary, man. Liverpool going to start look scary. Big up Samasi, who's one of the members. Big up, and if you want to be a member, support the channel, make sure you subscribe. I want to, especially during the summer transfer, I want to try and get more members hangouts and more members videos are sort of done. So this would be a great time for you if you want to support the channel to become a member. Rob, long time no see, mate. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well, man. It's been a minute. Unfortunately, we've had a terrible season, but hope you're doing well, buddy. Big up Zay as well. Lamasi is still a traitor. I'm few big. Yeah, Ajay, I'm glad you're good, buddy. And there's a lot of Bayern fans in the chat. Interestingly enough. And Mbuemo makes a lot of sense. Exactly right. Yeah, exactly. For me, and Mbuemo is a, you know, for me, I don't even know why we didn't even sign him last season. You know, for me, he makes sense for the United need. I would like Delap and Mbuemo. But if you get Mbuemo and another striker, that's fine. You know, let Højlund go out on loan or potentially go. But we definitely need in this system, I think you got to have two strikers. You got to have two strikers at least. And Mbuemo for me fits. And you know, I just don't really get why you know United not having a striker is not a main thing. So you know, I'm glad that United are in the process of a striker. And if you're saying United have got Cunha or getting Cunha and Mbuemo as a start, then at the beginning, you know, I think that's a good shout. Let's see how much money we have to spend as well, because obviously we've got sales as well. What else? Just Bayern fans. Massive saying, "What's Liverpool is what we need." That's true. Well, explain why you need it though. I've been curious. Liverpool is still a small club. Well, I mean, I can't say that they're 20 times and they've got a lot of Champions Leagues. So you know what can I say? But you know, Cunha and Mbuemo together, I think make a good shout. And Fabrizio, like I said, just to confirm, Fabrizio has confirmed Manchester's interest in Bryan Mbuemo as well. I think to be honest, if it's true that it's that, well, and Ben Jacobs will say that Bayern Mbuemo 50 million. 50 million is a steal. 50 million is a steal. So Fabrizio has confirmed the interest. 50 million is a steal. Is a steal from Mbuemo. It's a steal. Still small. And Mbuemo only has a year left. His contract won't be excessive. Yeah, exactly. I would argue we could probably get it down with add-ons to maybe 40 or 45 mil. You know, I think if you're telling me Mbuemo for 40 mil, come on, guys, come on. That's a steal. There are not that many strikers. And I know a lot of people are saying about getting Victor Osimhen. The problem with Osimhen is that Osimhen's wages are absolutely insane. I'm a fan of Osimhen. I would love Osimhen at Manchester United, but his wage for a player that's playing in the Turkish league, his wage demands are ridiculous. Victor Gyökeres is not going to Manchester United. It's just not happening. I suspect he'll, and this is why United desperately need a striker, because I suspect my hunch is that Gyökeres is going to go. It's either going to be Arsenal or Chelsea. I don't think it's going to be Liverpool. I mean, God forbid if Liverpool get Gyökeres. Oh my goodness. Imagine if Liverpool somehow hijacked and got Gyökeres somehow and got a bit of Nunes. You got Gyökeres, Wirtz, and Frimpong. Like, oh man. Yeah, we can't let that happen. I would suspect he would be going to Arsenal or possibly Chelsea. I feel personally like now I know how guys. Do you think we will sign your keeper? Think we need one? Do you agree, G? We talked about that last show actually. About that obviously the interest of the fact that Ruben Amorim wants Onana to go. I think he's made it clear. But much like Garnacho, I think Ruben Amorim wants Garnacho to go. But the question is, much like when who was it wanted Martial to go, it's just a question of are there anyone willing to buy him? Is there anyone willing to produce a substantial offer? You know, that will suit both parties and all parties. Maybe Saudi, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think that what I would argue is that yes, it would be good to sign a new keeper. United need at least 6 or so new signings, at least minimum. The keeper is one of them. However, for me, you got to prioritize first. For me, is at least 2 strikers, a midfielder, and possibly another in terms of Ruben Amorim's system, another right wing back to deputize for Ahmad, because the Mats Ferrari at right wing back thing can't be a thing for next season. It just doesn't work. If you're gonna play the right wing backs, okay, fine. Ahmad can be there on the right. On the left, you can play Dorgu. And people forget we've still got that Brazilian guy, Leon. He's not Brazilian, Paraguayan, who's coming in. No one's been talking about it, so I just want someone to confirm. So I'm fairly sure he's still coming. I want to let me just double check that, because no one seems to be mentioning this guy. I don't think they've cancelled the deal. So as far as I'm aware, let me check. He's still coming in. Yeah, Diego Leon, a 70-year-old Paraguayan left back, is set to join Manchester United in the summer of 2025. He currently plays for Corton and has already agreed to a deal that could potentially reach 7 million, including add-ons. Guy's 17 years old, you know. Now I don't know whether he's going to be going straight into the he's going into, but the impression I'm getting is that he's going straight into the first team. But yeah, no one's really mentioned this guy, so I don't know. But he apparently is going to be part of our squad until 2025. So do we need another left wing back? I don't think so. 230 years. So massive. Those guys going good about Liverpool. Steph Henwatch says he's waiting for Newcastle. Gyökeres or Mbuemo. Yeah, but Mbuemo, I think the thing about Manchester United is that, like, because Newcastle obviously have Isak. Isak is their number 9. So the question is, if you're going to go to a club like I say, Newcastle already has an established striker, are you happy to play second fiddle for them, but you get CL football? I think that's the thing, really. You know, we really bought Mount for. I mean, Ten Hag is. By the way, 57 people watching. Big up everyone who's watching. Thank you so much everyone who's watching for the show. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, bottom right-hand corner. Road to 5K, please. Road to 5K. And by all means, if you want to be a mod, please let me know. So it does get a little bit it's difficult to do the show whilst at the same time trying to keep an eye on the chat and stuff. So if there are people who want to be mods, just let me know and we'll sort something out. And the subscriptions there. Yeah, but buying one for 60 million was stupid. Okay, this is the I'm gonna skip the Works versus Liverpool thing, so I'll get you guys. And so Zahir says, saw some links to Jonathan David today, not sure reliable sources, but after Gyökeres, he'd be my second choice. I hear that. Samuel says, Ruben Amorim should be building a young team around the under 18, under 20, or 20. I mean, I like that. I mean, he does seem to I'm not, and maybe Zahir can help me. He does seem to not. I'm not saying he doesn't care about you, but he doesn't seem to prioritize it. Given the fact that he's frozen out Garnacho and even Mainey to a certain extent, it doesn't seem that he seems to care about that much, you know. So it would be nice if he did that, But really, the only academy players that I can see that I've seen so far is interested in is Ahmad, to a certain extent Collier. I think he rates Collier. I think Collier was just injured, so he'll be there. And obviously the recent signings like Heaven, who's been really good. Heaven is a really, really good signing, by the way. Why no Matheus? I don't know. I don't know, buddy. I don't know. RDS, I think this is a good thing on United. Stockman has done well with players in domestic leagues, players on foreign clubs. I mean, that is true, although I would make a caveat from, say, for example, obviously one of our best players, which was Ronaldo, who obviously came to Sporting Lisbon. So it could definitely happen. CR7 was one of our best sides. He came from the league, you know. So, but yeah, in recent times, it's not really been the case, you know. So, although obviously there was promising time with Euro, etc., etc., etc. So, as a Jonathan, yeah, I think Jonathan David would definitely be a good shout. But like I said, for me, United need to get to. I don't know how much, and let me know in the chat. You know, how much would Jonathan David cost? I don't think Jonathan David would. I would hope he wouldn't be any more than 30, 40 mil. You know, but for me, as I've said, we need to get 2 strikers. We need to get them through. No doubt about it. Manchester United need to get 2 strikers. Stephen says, Coney hasn't been given 0. Yeah, I know. I didn't understand that. You know, I was expecting him to maybe even played in the final with the way he started. I didn't expect it at all. Adios, can you take signing credits? No. Well, and the main reason for that is that we don't, well, for Sané and Coleman, we don't play wingers, so they wouldn't even fit into the system. So Sané and Coleman out. Goretzka, could you have a Goretzka? Possibly. Pete Goretzka maybe could work, but I think I'd argue at this point he's as slow as Casemiro. Is what I would say. So let's see what happens. But yeah, in fact, let me just put a poll into the chat. Where was it? Sorry. Come on, where am I? There we go. I'm going to put a poll in. Would Mbuemo be a good signing for United? Actually, no. Which striker should United sign? So I'm going to put Mbuemo, Delap, Jonathan David. I'm not going to put Gyökeres because realistically, I just don't think that Gyökeres is an option for Manchester United anymore. If they get him, fine. But I just think that I just don't think it's the case anymore. It's just not. It's not an option. It just really isn't. I don't. But let me know what you guys think. Zaya says he'll blood the youth if good enough. Tends to give them a taste. Then let's stay with the B team reserves before fully blooding them. And that's fair enough. My only concern with Manchester United is that clubs might sell Manchester United for a premium. Yeah, but certainly what I've seen is that this regime anyway isn't going to be a place that's going to be. The thing, at least about Ineos that I've seen, if last summer transfer window was anything to go by, is that they're not going to be taken for mugs. There's been some breaking news. Right? Okay. I mean, we're talking about strikers, but like, there's been some breaking news that's just come from. Gonna have to change. We're not talking about, but Liam Delap. So there's been some breaking news, and I'll just through that. Manchester United, according to Robert Dawson, have agreed personal terms with Liam Delap's agent and have informed Ipswich that they will meet his 30 million release clause. However, United are waiting for the player's decision soon. So that's just some breaking news coming out. United have agreed personal terms with Liam's agent and have informed us that they will meet the clause. So, in fact, geez, I might have to, let me just quickly edit this. I'm going to have to edit the title of this. Give me a second, guys. So what do you, well, but as I do that, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? Just check that. Delap terms. Now I'm not gonna put it into a deal close or here we go yet. Because obviously it is what it is. But because I suspect the issue is that Delap is waiting. I basically how I see it is that if Delap doesn't get any offers from any other place, he's going to go pick United. Like we are basically his choice. I think he's basically waiting, and he kind of alludes to this. He's waiting on a CL club. He's waiting on, obviously, I doubt Newcastle and City are going to be in for him. So he's waiting on Arsenal. He's waiting on Chelsea, who are more likely to be in it. And he's waiting on Liverpool. Liverpool, no. City, no. Newcastle, no. So it's going to be between Arsenal and Chelsea. I don't think Arsenal really rate Delap. So really, Delap's only option right now is Chelsea or Manchester United. So, but yeah, Amram, granted, Amram hasn't got time to kind of look at the season just had. He doesn't. That's true. That's true. 80 people watching, guys. Make sure you follow, you subscribe, like and share, and subscribe to Devil Studio bottom right hand corner, guys. Alex says agreement with Ipswich. Yeah, so thank you for that, Alex. I appreciate it. I've just seen it. So there is agreement with Ipswich. We're going to trigger it, according to Robert Dawson from ESPN. But the key, the key. So we agreed personal terms in an agent, but it's the player. So the player. So Delap has still not made a final. It seems anyway, a final decision. About what was coming. I just think he's going to wait as possible. I think we will find out probably tomorrow, and that will probably be our show. Or here we go. Tomorrow. You know, I mean, United stand talking and saying United have agreed the framework of the deal for Delap and are now waiting on his next move. They have informed that they'll match. Yeah, the fact that like we're still waiting. Is because I think that he wants to play Champions League football. It's simple as that. He wants to play Champions League football. But like I said, for me, in fact, for me, you need to get him. If you get Delap and Mbuemo, cool, fine, no problem at all. But we can't just have one striker, and certainly not just Delap. Like, nah, guys, come on, no, certainly not just Delap. Come on. Right. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, guys. 79 people sort of watching. Let's push on to get to 5K subscribers, guys. Samasi, I need you in the chat to push for that. Let's have a look. Eduardo Cresma, Jovni Quantic all went for that process sporting. That is true, Zahir. Amram should Amram should have used more youngsters if they are so good. Morehouse, Kone, Monotus going well. Maybe he doesn't think they are. That's the thing. Maybe he doesn't think they are. How are United fit and still have pull? I mean, it's not really pull though, is it? Really, I mean, Mbuemo and Delap aren't really pulls, really. Cunha, I think, is pull though. Cunha is pull because he's a very good player. Being a big brand is damn near as important as being good on the pitch. Players want to be part of a team that takes a struggling team on the dumps. There is beauty in that, although I think United are still struggling. J Red says Jonathan David ain't here free transfers. Oh yes, that is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. I completely forgot about that. He is a free transfer. He is a free transfer. 25 years old as well for Leo, man. Oh man. I'm not gonna lie. I would prefer Jonathan David over Liam Delap. I don't know what it is. I just think some of these England players are just so overrated and overhyped, you know. So, but yeah, I would definitely choose Jonathan David over Delap. But let me know in the chat. But yeah, breaking news for those who are tuning in: United have agreed personal terms with Liam Delap's agent, and they have told Ipswich that they will obviously agree the 30 million fee. The question is the player, and like I said, the only reason why I think that is an issue is because I think he is waiting for Chelsea. And I guess the question is, and it'd be good if we had some Chelsea fans here, would be, do Chelsea fans want Delap? If Twitter's anything to go by, no. But we'll see what happens. Right. Sadiq Rambil, Sadiq said, we need to find a more experience. This is what I'm saying. You know, I don't mind. He's a striker, so I don't mind him as one, but we need two. So I don't mind Mbuemo and Delap. I'd rather Mbuemo and Jonathan David, but Mbuemo and Delap is fine. But we can't just sign one striker. I do not want to go into next season with Delap and Højlund as United's number 9 options. That sounds very, very painful. Ablex, that is Delap coming in. That breaking news means that Chelsea stuff was a load of rubbish. I mean, maybe it was just a sort of, I don't know. Like I said, I think it's because Able's that I think he wants to go to Chelsea. He wants to go to a Champions League playing football club. Maybe that was to try and kind of, you know, get things interested, get for the agents and stuff, you know. Yeah, we need win backs because Man United will always have poor. Rather just gonna, yeah, that is true. That is true. Although we can't take that for granted, especially because we're broke right now. So I don't take that for granted. Yeah, I would go from for free. Oh, over 100 people watching, guys. Man, one of my biggest teams in the world, guys. I know you guys love these transfer shows. So yeah, please subscribe to your bottom right corner if you're new. Get involved as well, please. I do like them from our clubs as a deep. Jonathan David is a kind of yeah, that is true. That is true. I'm not sure what is fake news about this news from Robert Dawson, who's a journalist. So, and we kind of were alluded to the fact that Delap was gonna, like, we already knew that his sale clause was 30 million. So United were always could always trigger the clause. They were always considering triggering the clause. The issue for me was always whether Delap actually wanted to come to Manchester United. That was the issue. If we can get Cunha and Brentford and Delap, then for me, that's like we're good bands. I agree. Like I said, I would personally prefer Jonathan David over Delap. But I agree. I agree personally with that. Now David centre forward. Rob says, how many players you think we signed you with the budget and how many players out? You know, so this week good for Tom, but I've not been able to get a hold of Tom for ages. But if it was Tom, he would say, listen, I think United need a minimum 6. I think a lot of it depends on our outgoings. Obviously, we've already signed Cunha for 62 million without any outgoings, but I suspect United we've already let Lindelof, Eriksson, and Evans off the wage bill, so they're gone. I suspect Anthony's going to be gone in the summer. So when you think about it, we've also got 5 million Sancho. When you think about it, I mean, this is ridiculous if you think about it. Anthony, Sancho, Rashford, Garnacho, most likely, all 4 of those players could potentially be leaving Manchester United. Basically, most of our wingers. And for those, you could generate, at least for me, for those 4 players, you need to generate 150 mil, at least. Bruno, obviously, the Saudi thing is there, you know, and you could potentially do that. That is there, although the coach still wants him. But, you know, can you really turn down 120 mil for play? I don't think you can. So if Bruno did go, and you were given 100 mil for that's Champions League money. You sell Rashford's available for 40 million, Garnacho for 60 million, Anthony for me for 40 million. So we're already on 140 million, and then Sancho for 20 million. So that's 160 million from those 4 players. And then with that money, especially because Rashford and Garnacho are academy players, so we'll be able to spend more from the player profile sort of thing. So you'll be able to spend more. That will give us obviously quite a bit more money to money to play around with. I've seen Jonathan David play deep for Canada. Interesting. You only know striker. Cunha's best. Yeah, he'll be one of the 10s. So he'll be one of the 10s. Hopefully, Delap chooses Chelsea. He's bang average. I said I would prefer Jonathan David myself. Freezing it says, sorry, Mbuemo not a striker. He is behind a striker. Yeah, I think he's certainly more of a striker than what we have. I would say you don't get 20 goals in the league for just being a behind striker. At least I don't think. But given your top, Atletico Madrid fan. Okay, but that's what I would have said. Wissa is a baller. Get him. Like Wissa is a baller actually. But Bruno won't go. Bruno won't go. No, he won't go. So it says they've agreed personal terms, man. They've agreed personal terms, Robert. Personal terms have been agreed. We agreed personal terms. So we have agreed personal terms with Liam Delap's agent, which is what it says in the tweet. So please read the tweet. This is the best Bruno is going to get. This is his peak, so and high. I don't disagree there. Do you think we are selling Højlund or keeping him as a backup? Do we think we need? I think we definitely need to get 2 strikers. Ables, I also think. I mean, in fact, let me look at this poll. Let's look at the poll here. Where's look at the poll. So it seems that about 80% of you want Mbuemo, with 16% saying Delap and 3% for Jonathan David so far. So that's it. So a lot of Mbuemo fans here. But yeah, I think for me, no, Højlund needs to go out on loan. I actually rated Højlund in the first season. I thought that he could do something. I generally did. 15 goals the first season, like okay, can build on, but he both for Ten Hag and to Thingy, his confidence just gone. It's just gone. It's just completely and totally gone. So for me, he needs to he needs a good loan, is what I'd say. Go out on him, go for a good loan, get the confidence back in. Maybe, he goes to Serie A again or the Championship, because I also think that maybe he needs to. I don't really know what type of striker he wants to be. He because for me, there's multiple types of strikers, but there's your agile strikers and bullies. So it's like Lukaku is a bully type of striker. Haaland is a bully. Your in-behind technical striker would be like Cavani, for example. I don't know which one he wants to. If he wants to be a bully, then he needs to be more physical. He needs to bulk up a little bit. He needs to sort of focus on his in-the-box movement and anticipation. If he wants to be a more agile, then he needs to lose weight and he needs to run in, and he needs to be quicker. He needs to run in behind more. Like there were a lot of times when I was seeing him where the dude was, he's only 20-something. I'm like, you need to be faster. Some of these balls, like a lot faster, Mega says he prefers Delap. Strap says Delap is literally the English Højlund. I mean, there's a case there. Let's just focus on Mbuemo or not. That well, like I said, the breaking news seems to be that United have agreed personal terms with Liam Delap's agent, and I'll emphasize this: his agent, and I've informed Ipswich that they will meet his firm. So the reality is, his agent has said, "Cool, that's fine." Ipswich, I've said, "Cool, that's fine." The issue comes with the player. And I think this Chelsea news around the whole thing was that, okay, you know, do you want me? Are you interested in me? You know, I'd rather play second fiddle. I'd rather play second fiddle than and play in the Champions League and compete for my place and whatever's going on, you know. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. So apologies about that, guys. So there's some horrific news coming out of Liverpool today, so which is really, really sad. So thoughts and prayers to everyone who was involved. Sporting bought a young Danish striker in Conrad Harder. He's better than Højlund and hardly started this season. That is true. Alberts, he's too focused on wrestling defenders and he forgets to control the ball and then just falls over. He looks strong, but is very weak, always doing duels and doesn't even. This is what I'm saying. I don't know what striker Højlund wants to be. You know, if he wants to be a bully, then by means. But there's a place for bully strikers. There is a place for them. But he needs to be stronger, and he's not. You know, bully the defenders. You know, like Lukaku, bully is a bully. You know, so and it works. You know, he scored how many goals for Everton? There's a place for bully strikers, but you got to be strong. You got to win duels. You know, but we'll see. The only way Delap is going to succeed is if he has Mbuemo and Cunha behind him. And that might be what we play. And that might be play. What I think is interesting with some of these signings is just that if you play, say, Mbuemo and Cunha behind a Delap, for example, you know, then you've got to look at, you know, what's going to happen to Bruno, what's going to happen to Mount. Bruno cannot play in that deep position anymore. Like, he can't do that at all. He can't. So what is going to happen to Bruno? What is going to happen to Mount? What is going to happen to these players? Because Aram seems to love Mount because he works hard, but frankly, dude ghosts. He ghosts so much. Alandra Ganacci meaning Atletico Madrid. Whoa, was that breaking? What's your source? What's your source for that? Obviously, there's talks that he was going to go to Napoli. But no, let me know what your source is, and we'll have a look. So, but yeah, let's see what happens with the Delap situation. You know, and see what's going on. I think Rasmus H can work, but not on Man United. Yeah, I agree. Let's go zoom. Red Devil United, big up Rich, big up the chat, and hopefully me and Rich will be doing our season end of season review tomorrow, and really just break down what the hell happened at Manchester United. So as well as the fact that we'll be looking into some more transfer news as well, you know. But yeah, for those obviously coming in, personal terms have been agreed with Manchester United and Liam Delap's agent. Ipswich have been informed for a fee of £30 million. That means that United have already spent £92 million already in the summer transfer window. So one would assume that if these two signs go through, United will need to start working on selling players. One thing I would say about Ineos, even though I have a lot of I have a lot of criticism for this year, is that when it comes to signings, this season, they've been a lot quicker. They've been a lot quicker at getting signings and getting things done, you know, than everything. Now, Fabrizio does say regarding Mbuemo that Mbuemo is on this, but it depends on sales, not easy. So I suspect, you know, that there will be you know, Delap obviously clearly is United want to secure. I still would have gone from Mbuemo with Delap. I don't know. I don't really understand the thing with Delap. Only I don't know whether it's because maybe it's one of those, okay, he's a 30 million striker that could potentially become a 70 something million striker, you know. I don't know. So maybe that's why they want to get it in, or whether it's because he's English and you can do things with that. I don't know. I've got no idea. I definitely would have gone from Mbuemo or Jonathan David over him. But this is Manchester United, you know, so see what happens. Make sure you like the vid, subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner, please. We're on the road to 4.3 subscribers and further on the road to 5K, and hopefully we can get that by the summer. So no. So what's the attack looking like for next season? Well, it would be so far it would probably be either Xerxes or Højlund on top. Then you'd think it'd be Cunha and then Bruno. That's what it is so far. And with Mount presumably being on the bench, coming off the bench. That's what I would see. I just hope the striker bringing will find the back of the net. We can't have any other bad season. Let's hope we bring in the players we need fast. Genjo. Yeah, exactly. We need to get them onto the preseason ASAP when that starts, and then need to get ready. That's why for me, I like Mbuemo. For me, is nice, because when you got 20, him and Wissa, you know, 20 Premier League goals in the Premier League last season. You know, so you've got a Premier League proven striker already, unlike necessarily getting someone from elsewhere. So you're already you've already got, you know, there's already confidence there. You know what I mean? You know, so but you know, we'll see what happens. Manchester United looking, well, I hope they are. But it seems that we're gonna have to get sales. So I guess I would be curious to know what other players Manchester United will be going for once Delap and so I'm just moving this. Once Delap and Cunha are sealed, and you know, Delap is not definitive. I definitely think that if Delap rejects United and Chelsea sort of come in and swoop, which is also still a possibility, then I think United will go in hard for Mbuemo. But you know, we need two strikers. There's no. I know I've repeated myself, but we definitely need two strikers. So yeah, let me know what you think about in the chat. Make sure you like my corner. Now I'm just gonna check to just see if there's any further Manchester United. Well, I mean, the only relate is obviously CR7 leaving. Would people would people take CR7 back? Would people take CR7 back? I wonder. Would how many people would take CR7 back at Manchester United at 40? You know, how many people would take CR7 back at? I don't know how many people would, but let me know. I know I wouldn't, but you know, who knows? Now I want to just quickly check this Garnacho news. Where's the about the Garnacho? But I don't think I see any updates of Garnacho and stuff from what I can see. Oh yeah, Malacia. I forgot about Malacia. You know, when you look at the players that need to go, you know, Evans and Eriksen already gone. You know, you need Sancho, Rashford, Anthony, Malacia, Shaw. You know, they all need to go. You know, the amount we could generate from, I think Shaw is someone who could go to a club like West Ham. Malacia could probably be sold back to Holland. You know, we can generate at least 200 million from player sales alone. Without a shadow of a doubt, we can do that. You know, no doubt about that. It's just that can we get that done, and can we get that done quickly? Is that Lucky Singh? Okay, fine. But yeah, I hope that we can get it done. I hope that we can bring in, but the signs are that like they're positive. The signs are that they're positive. Let me look at the poll again. 121 votes. Oh, thanks, everyone voting. So yeah, so everyone wants Mbuemo. Everyone wants Mbuemo. Mbuemo seems to be Mbuemo seems to be 76% with about 90% saying Delap, and Jonathan David are saying at 5%. So a lot of people want Mbuemo, which is fair enough. For me, he is like, you know, he's a striker. Yes, he can play a second striker as well. The reality is that Manchester United, we need at least 2 strikers. And if we don't get those 2, I just think we'll struggle to get goals. I'm just seeing just any other additional. Yeah, I mean, like I'm just saying, like Mbuemo scored 20 goals and 7 assists in 38 Premier League appearances this season. Why on earth are Manchester United not going for this guy? He's 50 million for a guy who got 20 goals and 7 assists in the Premier League. I'm not talking about Serie A, La Liga, in the Premier League. Even if he doesn't get 20 goals, he'll probably at least get 15. You know, much more than we had. And and 7 assists. We gotta do something. You know, we got to do something. We got to get him. I don't know. We got to. Let me just fully check. Any more? I'm just checking if there's any more information on Liam Delap. Quickly go on to Robert Dawson's. Oh, by the way, I mean, what do people think about Jack Grealish? Would you take Jack Grealish at Manchester United? Although again, he's a winger, so I don't know where he'd fit. But you know, right? Okay, let me read some of your comments while I just continue checking for any news. Yeah, CR7 and bring back McFred. Well, big up McTominay. Big up McTominay, guys. McTominay cooked. McTominay has been cooking, man. McTominay has been cooking. And won that Scudetto. So big up McTominay, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. If you're new, please. We've got 97 people watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We are going to be live most days with around this time. With latest Manchester United transfer news and more. It is transfer season, speculative season, but you know, make sure that you support the channel, guys. And if you're on Twitch, you can check us out on Twitch as well. This is obviously a community, so you know, just get your thoughts in. Steve says, how Conjuring was never Manuel's manager's disgrace. He would be the guy to play. He would have been nice. But I don't think people would have had the patience with Carlo. And also the Premier League. I mean, he was Everton manager and Chelsea manager. Oh, okay, fair enough, Lucky. You're forgetting Tuesday providing assists for Eminency. Yeah, it's true. He did do that. For Ivan Toney was providing a lot of assists. So this is what I'm saying. I feel like Delap and Mbuemo could certainly play off each other. You know, you could play an SS with Mbuemo being there where Delap is, or vice versa, or you could, you know, Bruno, etc. So it does give us options. It's just that on Manchester United, Manchester United have the ability and the kahunas to actually just go and get the deal done? No Grealish fans. I would take Jack all day. I don't know where he would play though. That's the only thing. My issue with Grealish is where exactly would he play, especially in a team that doesn't use wingers. So, but yeah, that's what I would say. You know, so from the you know the uh, where would he play? You know, where would he play? Just check for more. I'm not sure there's much else news-wise. Obviously, for those who have just tuned in, Liam Delap. Oh, I think there's some more Mbuemo news. Some more Mbuemo news. Yeah, he's ready to talk about it. Suits his strategy. The club appreciates him, but we need to put a bid in, man. You know, we need to sign these guys. And Mbuemo and cunha, we need to sign. We need to sign these guys. I mean, I'm already be more interested in even Eze from Palace. Even Eze. I mean, you know, Rob Dawson. Going back to Rob Dawson. I mean, Rob Dawson has said, who's obviously broke the Liam Delap views. Now, just that because this is another interesting, a brief interesting piece, and we'll probably begin to wrap things up afterwards. Is Eze from Palace. Now, I would assume he'd want to play in the Europa League. But again, Manchester United's pull is big. You know, we are one of the biggest, if not the biggest, one of the biggest clubs in world football. You know, it is our thing. You know, so you know, if you told me that Manchester United signed Mbuemo and Eze and cunha in one summer, I would be like, I would start to get hyped. I would generally start to get hyped if we signed cunha, Eze, and Mbuemo. All I would get hyped. I'd say, okay, we can start to do something. We can begin slowly but surely to do something. Where Red Devils once nudge out the door, get a bit accepted one. Yeah, I think I would imagine that again it's going to be on player sales. I think if Garnacho, I know I'm fairly confident that the relationship between Rashford and Garnacho and with Amram has broken down. So I'm fairly confident that those guys are going to be gone. Sancho, I think the club wants him gone regardless of what happens. I don't know whether the coach will, because at the end of the day, Amram doesn't play wingers, so we don't need wingers. So he's sending all the wingers away. He uses wing backs. So unless Sancho can adapt into wing back, it's not going to work. RDS, do you feel sorry for Aston Villa? No, I don't. I'll quickly address this. I'll tell you why I don't feel sorry for Villa. Because one, their goalkeeper decided to do something stupid and got sent off in the first half. So if they played with us with 11 men, maybe they would have beaten us and they'd been fine. He got himself sent off and they went down to 10 men. That's on Villa, not on the ref or anything like that. And number two, at the end of the day, your league position isn't determined by one game. You know, I think a lot of people want to focus on the benefit of a league is that like it's an average of performance over 38 games. So had Villa beaten a certain team or held the draw or whatever at the other part of the season, they wouldn't have this issue. It's like Nottingham Forest. Had Forest not dropped points against Leicester, they would be in the Champions League. They were only 2 points behind Newcastle. I think they had a better goal difference, I think. So had they not dropped 2 points to Leicester, they'd be in CL. But they did. So this whole, you didn't do it enough in against Chelsea. No, Forest were crap for the last couple of games. They burn out and they're lucky that they just got Conference League football. Is Chelsea want to splash 100 on that Frankfurt striker? Please, God, they need to. Please, God, let them splash that let them splash the cash. Let them splash the cash, please. Let them splash the cash on that striker and see what happens. Let them do that, man, and it be an etiquette, and he ends up being a flop. No way Grealish joins, goes against Amra's professionalism code. Yeah, exactly. He's a little bit issue. Wait, is CS? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's finished. He's left. So where he goes from here, I've got no idea. Because clearly he's not going to clubs. So his whole Saudi thing must be. So he must be looking for clubs now. So is what I would say. Whether he convincingly does, I've got no idea. But you know, he needs to look for clubs. He he needs to look for clubs. Yeah, I've seen them already. He's I don't know where he goes. He's not going to the States. I don't think he'd be allowed in the States. I guess he could go to the US, but he's not. He won't be allowed there. That would be the other thing. The MLS will probably take him. Because, like I said, people need to forget the Saudi league is still quick. The only place I feel like he could play would be the MLS, where everyone is so slow. But I don't know, anywhere else. Maybe he just relies on his YouTube and his other side hustles, and he goes to Portugal. Who knows? But I don't know. He needs to be in a club though, because if he wants to get in the World Cup, he needs to be in a club. So who knows? Eze will be a good sign too, like you say, G. If we sign them 3 players you mentioned, yeah, exactly. If as terrible as the season it was, and I will no doubt me and Rich will be talking about how bad the season was, and Eddie tomorrow. However, if, and I say this is a big if we sign Cunha and Mbuemo and Eze, all 3 players, and we sign them all, I'm getting gassed. I'm saying, I'm not going to say we're back, but I'm getting gassed. Because suddenly I'm like, right, we've got 3 players who know the back of the net and who can cook. Suddenly we've got 3 players who know and who can cook, and be like, right, okay, finally that attack. And then if you got Cunha, Eze, and Mbuemo with Ahmad as the right wing back, and either Dorgu or something, pinging in, supplying those guys. Man, come on, we can cook. We can begin to cook. If that's the case. We can slowly but surely begin to cook if that's the case. But who knows? Apparently some excellent teams. I mean, CR7 in Mexico? Nah, come on. Nah. Would you take Modric on free? No, he's not got any legs. The Premier League is too physical. For I think one of the things that shocks La Liga players coming in is they don't realize, it's like, I don't think the Premier League is not the retirement league or anything. It's just too physical. I'm not saying it's technical or skillful. It's just too physical. Like it's very, very demanding on the body. And in the La Liga, in the Serie A, you've got more time on the ball. In La Liga, you've got more time on the ball. It's not as physical. It's more technical. Your ability on the ball is more important. In the Premier League, it's just physical, man. Physicality. That's it. CR7 is not broke. He's not Ronaldo doing. No, exactly. He's not. I mean, CR7 could retire though. He could retire, but for some reason he's not going to. I don't know why, but he's not going to. It just is what it is. That's just where we are. So, but yeah, come on. I like this here, the Mbuemo and Eze bit. Okay, Mbuemo and Eze. I mean, guys, come on. United need to act on this. They need to act on it quickly. They really, really need to do it, because we need more. We need this. Now, whether they'll do it or not, I don't know. Maybe if the fans really speak up about it, I don't know. But clearly, United have been interested, and they've been interested in Delap for a while. Let's see what happens. Let's have just a quick look. I said Cunha and Mbuemo is trending on sports Twitter. It's still, I mean, people already put in there. I mean, yeah, Xerxes, Cunha and Mbuemo. I mean, you could put Cunha and Mbuemo behind Xerxes. I mean, could that work? You know, for me, I think the thing just for me is that Bruno, Bruno can't be in the midfield. That's what I say. Bruno 100% cannot be in the midfield. He just can't. Town. I mean, well, yeah, we reached agreement. So there's just more breaking news coming in about Delap. They reached agreement with Ipswich Town when we have, but obviously we're still waiting from the player. So I need to quickly get my charger. 1 second, everybody. Right. Okay. King Adrian says United still crap, up the mighty Liverpool 21 next season. Well, if you get 21, you'll deserve it. But let's see what happens. I mean, 2 titles in 30 years, it is what it is, but I'll just leave it at that. Hopefully we don't do that. We're not there yet, but we could be there. So, but it's your time now. I'll give you that. Of course he wants the World Cup. Of course he wants the World Cup, but he needs to find a team first. If he's not playing in a team, he's not going to the World Cup. So I don't know what he does, whether he takes a wage cut or something, but he needs to find a team. And he needs to find a team that's happy with because isn't he like is Ronaldo 40 yet now? I think he's 40. Let me have a look. Is he 40 now? Yeah, he's 40. He's 40 now. I don't know. I don't know whether he's yeah, he's 40, but I mean he says, you know, I mean, Inter Miami, man. Let him and Messi just board together, man, and retire together. Let him and Messi do that. Let him and Messi board together. You can go to speak to Beckham and get him to play for Inter Miami and do your thing, and then just sell merch. That's what you should do, man. That's what I would do. What other players smoking going to United? Don't they want a trophy? Because we're still a top club, buddy. We're still a top club. That's why. Red Dale transfer windows open date, please. That is going to be it's June, essentially June. Because it's going to be it's going to be open. My understanding of the transfer window, it's going to be open now. Then they're going to close it before the Club World Cup, and then they're going to reopen it again. That's basically what's going to happen. But I don't play around. CR7 not going into Miami. Really. I mean, is this because well, I mean, yeah, I mean the gun thing issue there, I guess maybe that could be a thing. I don't know. So, but yeah, he goes there. Right, guys, it's 4.2 4 subscribers, from 4,270. So for those watching, please hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 427 by the end of the show. But thank you so much, everyone who's been in the chat and been responding. Really, really appreciate it, guys. Some of you United fans, some of you are Liverpool fans, as SMB and a few other people are. Some of you support different teams. So thanks so much again for everyone that's getting involved. We'll probably round things up in the next 10 minutes. I'm just seeing if there's any more United news. But I think it'd be nice to just quickly talk about exits. Best Lifestyle TV. Thank you so much for subscribing, man. Really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much. And obviously, let me know what more you want me to cover from in the channel as well. We'll probably be doing. Do you guys want to watch along of the preseason games? Let me know. I can do them. I can do a watch along for them. Whether you want me to or not, whether it'll make a difference given United season, I don't know. But if you want me to, then we can. So let me just quickly, on update on United exits, player exits, because obviously, I'll just quickly see, because obviously it's clear to me that Manchester United need, if they're going to spend, they're going to need money to, especially in Bremen, they're going to need money to go. They're going to need money. It's clear that the likes of Shaw, Evans, Eriksson, and Lindelof have gone, although Tom Heaton has renewed. It is clear to me that the likes of Onana and Garnacho and Shaw have been asked to find new clubs, which is obviously something. And on top of that, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony are also, going to be on the market. So I think that is the bulk of the players. I think obviously you still got the Bruno money that's there, that could obviously contribute to things. That is definitely there. Would be good if I'm honest, Rob. I would like to, but I've not heard from the guy for quite some time. I hope he's well. Maybe he's just been busy working or he's off Twitter. But yeah, he's not really been on anyone's streams or things in a while, So which is sad because I really like Tom. I really like the guy. Rashford to Barca. I mean, if Barca give United 40 million, then by all means, I think with all those players that I said, because United are doing a clear out, we can generate, or we should be able to generate at least 200 million. And some of those players are academy players. Rashford is an academy player. Garnacho, I think, will count as an academy player. So you would get, more money to spend because of that, because it's just pure profit. You can make an argument. Obviously, Malacias is there as well. You can make an argument that some of the other academy players could, I don't want Mainu to be sold, but there could be a case of Mainu. If he's going to be sold, for me, if Garnacho and Mainu go, they've got to be 60 million. We can't sell Garnacho and Mainu, who are players that have got top Premier League experience, who are incredibly young, and who have won trophies, and we can't sell them for just 20, 30 million. You can't do that. They need to go for 60 million minimum, and I would put a buyback clause on them if we're going to sell them for that amount of money, is what I would do. But yeah, Garnacho for 60 million, Rashford for 40 million. If you could push it, maybe 50 million for Rashford if we can. Sancho's probably going to go for if we can get 20, 30 million from him, from, say, a Dortmund or German team, that'd be great. Anthony, same. If we get, you could probably even push Anthony for 40 because of how well he's been doing at Betis. That's the selling thing. So if he wants to go to Betis, I think Betis, if Betis give us 40 mil for Anthony, 40, 45, But 40 mil, I think we would go for that. Shaw, 15, 20 mil probably for him. Onana, again, probably 20 million if we can get someone to buy him. So, you know, when you add all those numbers up, that probably adds to at least more than 200 million. And then we can use it. Casemiro, yeah, Casemiro is probably going to stay. I mean, you know, you see, there's a reason why you're seeing, you know, I always see you got a Portuguese manager who's going to keep the Portuguese players, you know, Portuguese/Brazilian players. Casemiro, Dalot, and Bruno aren't going anywhere. And they aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's the case there. Portuguese manager, Portuguese players, not going on to see. Although I personally don't want to really. Dalot for me is which will just be a squad player from henceforth personally. Best life is one Manchester United. Big up, bro. Thank you. I agree with that. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Bottom right corner, guys. Adz says Vardy coming. Yeah, 40 bags. Where's the quiz? 40 bags of Quavers. Yeah, I mean, big up to Vardy, man. 200 goals. You know, I definitely would have taken. I definitely would have taken peak Vardy. I definitely would have. I definitely would. What's this? Adsto says, can't believe the team is backing the team. Can't believe the team is backing him. Bet one more season, he's gone. I mean, fundamentally, it just comes to whether we can. What I would say though, the only pushback I would say is that we're not in 60 because of Onana. Because remember, last season we finished 8th. Last season, the only difference between last year and this season for me is actually, and I say this is bad, McTominay. McTominay scored a lot of clutch goals for us when he in the last season, and we were able to, you know, we still struggle with goals. He scored some clutch goals for us, and also we were still in Ten Hag's system. So Ten Hag's system and also McTominay. This season, McTominay's gone. Your goal's gone. Ten Hag has gone, and so there you are. So we're not going to blame our position solely on Onana. At the end of the day, I can't even remember a match where we conceded many games where we conceded more than, like, if you actually want to look at deep it, I can't remember many games where United conceded like 2 or more goals in the Premier League. Like when I think about it, like against the big six, against Chelsea, against Villa, against Newcastle, against all these teams, I don't remember us conceding more than 2+ goals in these games. Like a lot of the games that we lost or drew, it was like 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, etc. You know, like West Ham, you know, 2-0 or whatever it is. We did. So the issue for me is it was that we couldn't score. And in the build-up to the final, we couldn't score against West Ham, we couldn't score against Chelsea, and we couldn't score against Spurs. We couldn't score against any of the London teams. What does that say? That is a striker problem. It's why, for me, the most important thing this transfer window is we sort the attack out. If we can get a replacement keeper, great. I think we still need it, but we shouldn't be. If we get Delap and Cunha, I don't want our next sign to be a goalkeeper, and we spend 70 million on a goalkeeper, and we miss out on someone like Mbuemo or Jonathan David or Eze or whatever. No, we need to get another striker. Sell Rashford, I think that they're gone. Like anyone's sure. No, I think you could probably fob short off to like a West Ham, for example. I think you could. I definitely could. RDS, Man United should take a look at the Espanyol goalkeeper moved to Barcelona. Yeah. I wonder how much he'd be. Hearing 2020 United might have a bigger. Yes, that is the worry, and that's why I suspect, United are going to probably sell a lot of academy players. I was surprised that we didn't put a lot more academy players in our first team to raise revenue. But I just have a feeling that someone like Maynard is going to go. We're going to be liquidating assets, man. That's just the reality of the situation. That's what I think. John Ganacho, yeah, no, I need to have a look at him. I need to have a look. Is Mbuemo a striker or more of a number 10? I don't think he's a 10. I would say he was a support striker. So this is the thing why I said you have to get Delap and Mbuemo. You've got to get two. Because you could, in Amram's system, you could play Delap up top and you could play Mbuemo behind, and then you could play obviously Cunha next to him. So you could do Delap, Mbuemo, Cunha. I also think you could, put Mbuemo as a striker and then have Cunha and say someone like Eze or Bruno behind him. But we definitely need two in quote strikers. And I think, as I said, Delap would definitely help. He has who's got a 25 million release clause, Mega? Oh, the goalkeeper. Oh, the Espanyol goalkeeper. Yeah. I think the biggest issue really in United right now is just our finances. We've already spent. We're already in the process of spending 90 million if obviously Delap agrees, and we're waiting on his agreement. I'm going to anticipate a here we go tomorrow at some point because, like I said, in Ipswich have confirmed the bid. They are happy to accept the 30 million release clause, and Leon Delap's agent has also confirmed it. So let's see what happens. Geez, Arda Turan, man, the guy. He's a coach now, but just what happened to the guy? Fell off badly. Ollie Gibson says, how close is the Brentford deal? United are in talks and discussions with Brentford, and Brentford says 50 million. That's as close as it is. It's closer than it was yesterday, but United are interested in signing it. And Mbuemo. But what I would expect is that if the Delap deal goes through, which I suspect it will, United probably have to sell first. So if we sell Garnacho and likes of Rashford, for example, one of the two, especially because it means that they're both academy players, I think that Mbuemo is next. And then after that, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Mega goals are needed. Hopefully that's answered the question. Aitler says, here Newcastle wanted Mbuemo and they have UCL to offer. Yes. I think the only thing, I guess, in United's favour, because there was talk about Newcastle, the only thing that's in United's favour is that one, Newcastle already have a primary striker. Newcastle's primary striker is Isak. So if Mbuemo does go, he's not going to be the starting striker. Isak will be. Isak isn't going anywhere. And the other thing is that we can obviously offer Mbuemo higher wages. That's it. So we could say, listen, you're going to get regular game time, higher wages. Mbuemo, I wouldn't necessarily start. I suspect. So, but let's see what happens. I think it's a lot about time and who's quicker or not. So yeah, but if it's Champions League, then yeah, we've got a chance. But like I said, if I was United, I would go now and get this deal done. Toot sweet. Mega, I want a new goalkeeper. Goalkeeper should save a team 12 point season. Onana can't do that like Digit De Gea. Yes, I agree with that. But the thing is that there's no point in like how can I put it this way? If Onana keeps clean sheets, but we don't score, we still only have like 40. We still only have 38 points. You know, so you keep a clean sheet, but we're not scoring, and that was my thing. It's like, yes, I'd have more of an issue if we were conceding 3-4 goals every game, and it was making every game. But the reality is that like a lot of the games we were losing like 1-0, and like you can't. Oh, now De Gea, if De Gea was in this team, I'm not sure how much of a difference it would have made. I think, yes, okay, from mistakes wise, but even in his last season, De Gea was making mistakes. This is the thing, so I don't know. I don't know, because I genuinely believe that when you actually have a striker, it makes a difference. You're on the front foot scoring goals. It's unreasonable to expect the goalkeeper to especially in the first season where there were so many goal attempts on Onana's goal. Like every game, he was getting like 20 or 30 shots a game. It was like ridiculous. Like they were conceding so many chances to them. So yeah, I essentially what I'm saying is that like I'm not saying that like it's that I think that he has to go, but that should not be at the expense of sorting out the attack, is what I'm saying. Like don't be in a situation. I don't want to be in a situation next season where the only attack signing we sign is Delap. Obviously, we've got Cunha as well, so we are starting to, but our attack is still washed and we still got problems. That's what I would say. Otherwise, I agree with you. But yeah, we do need to get new goalkeepers. Atonement is right. Like, share, and subscribe if you're new, guys. There's 89, 90 people watching, guys. We're in 427 as well, guys. So please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. Thanks so much for everyone who's tuning in. I agree to Mega. There is talk we might be in for. Oh yeah, well, I mean, people saying about Emi Martinez, but I mean, if you saw what happened, Emi Martinez is better than Onana. However, he has his own issues, and we saw that with like he basically cost his team UCL football yesterday. So there's that. We stopped conceding shots when we did, but that's because that's because we're playing a back three. So we're playing a back through or back five at times. So we can see a lot less. But yeah, like I said, I'm not saying that like we don't need a new keeper, but for me, the attack is the most important thing. Like, the amount of games that we like the amount of I mean, how many goals did we even score this season? Like, let me go to the Premier League. Let me go to the Premier League table and see how many goals we scored this season. Let me see how many goals we scored. Let me see. So United scored. So here, give me answers. This is the why Manchester United need a striker, right? Need to solve that. Why the attack is the most important thing. So I know people say, "No, goal needs to be up there as well." No, it looks like it's quick, so when we try to make a save. Let me give you the evidence for that. Let me give you the evidence of this. Okay, Manchester United. So it says goals for. So that was what last season. We can in 38 games. Okay, United scored 44 goals. Barely over 1 goal a game in 38 games, right? Okay, so if you put that in ranking in the 20 clubs in the league in terms of where United ranked in terms of goals scored, the only teams to have scored less than Manchester United in the league was Everton and the relegated teams, Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton. The only teams to score. So it actually make our position 15th is right if you're looking at the goals that we scored. Only Everton and the relegated teams, if anything, if our goals, we should be 16th. Everton, Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton score less goals than us. Now, if you want to look at the goals conceded by us, we conceded 54 goals, right? Now, how many teams conceded more than 50 goals? 54 goals? Well, Brighton did, they're 8th. Brentford did, they're 10th. Fulham did, they're 11th. West Ham did, they conceded 62, they're ahead of us as well. Wolves did, 69. Spurs did, and then obviously all the Leicester, Ipswich, Tottenham teams. So 9 teams in the league, actually 10, I think, conceded more goals than Manchester United season. So again, not saying that Manchester United don't need a new goalkeeper, they do. But considering the fact that Manchester United were, what, 17th for goals scored in the league, it's obvious to me that the forward strikes needs to be solved. It's obviously, because if that situation was solved with that goals conceded record, and obviously, you know, scoring goals means that it would be better, then, you know, then probably United at least finish mid-table. They probably finish where we were last season. If our goals were better, we would at least finish probably 8th, maybe 7th. Okay, so that's my argument. That's my case. Martinez will be banned for the first week. That's true. That is true. So that's stupid decision. But yeah, get a goalkeeper if we can, but not at the expense of attackers. If you sell me, we get Cunha, Mbuemo, Delap, David, whoever it is, or Eze, and then you have money to get a replacement goalkeeper. 100%, 100%. 56 goals needed for us. Yeah, it's not acceptable. Lucky, it's not. I'm going to round up here because I've been for an hour and a half. Have you seen United transfer stats? We spend more money than when we aren't a champion. That is true, but we're run by Ineos now. So in theory, you're right, but I do think the Ineos situation is better. Like it's definitely going to be more of a sell to buy type culture thing. Is what I would say. But yeah, I'm going to just finish reading these comments, guys, and then we're going to round up. I don't think there's any. I'm going to just quickly just check if there's any additional breaking news that comes out. Okay. I mean, the only thing I can see is that obviously Sancho is going to be coming back to Manchester United. Chelsea are going to pay the obligation to cancel for 4.5 million. So already we've got 4.5 mil. So thank you, Chelsea. Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. We need to get rid. For me, just sell Sancho back to Dortmund, man. For me, I think I'm into this with Sancho where like he's on a loan. If his wages go down, just sell him back to Dortmund for maybe 20, 30 mil. Do something. That's what I would do. Onana has poor position. He does a lot to make saves. Looks for the print. Yeah, he is poor. It's poor. Like I said, I definitely think that we got Dimmerben. We did, and we can. But like I said, Ineos is the difference in my personal opinion. And what else did I say? That was and also that United are interested in Eze as well. So yeah, if United can get both of these guys, great. If not, well, we'll see what happens. When Swagsford came in, he brought in a new goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, striker. The background team you could trust. For me, it starts with the keeper. But we do need two strikers. Yeah. I think that's the key. It's like, you're right. I just think that we need two strikers. I can't be in a situation in a season where we can't score goals. We need two strikers, man. We need two strikers. Because it was painful, because people can blame the defense for everything we want, but why couldn't we score? Like, the amount of games where we didn't score at all has been so bad this season, and the reality as well is that football is also about scoring goals, man. I want to be entertained. I mean, I just from an entertainment point of view, yes, I think that we should goalkeepers save, etc., and that can be good, but I want us to create and score goals. That's why I watch football. If we make a great defense, that's great, but I'll be honest, I don't really like, and I hope we're not going to turn into a team that's kind of just boring and defensive. It's the football that I saw for a lot of peers this season wasn't great to watch. I want a team that creates goals and scores a lot of goals. For me, that's the Manchester United I grew up with. Confident, attacking, scoring goals. So not just uber rigid and defensive and protective. In summary, I would much rather United win 4-3 than grind out a 1-0 win. Yes, if it's a Champions League final, an FA Cup, etc., fine. But I mean, on a week-to-week basis, if we, just like that Lyon game, that was the best match I think I've seen in Manchester United. That I would rather that and be entertained than I would a 1-0 grind and win, unless, of course, it's an important final, and that's fine. If we get Delap, what will happen to Xerxes and Højlund? Xerxes will probably stay. I think he'll be around, although there are offers for Xerxes, and I think there'll be a lot of interest in Xerxes. Højlund, for me, Højlund needs to go on loan. We might loan him out, or we might sell him to Syria. Xerxes, you might still be able to use as a 10, but Højlund will be on the bench if we get Delap. Yeah. I think we can use Xerxes behind in that position, or but yeah, there'll definitely be rotation there. And Xerxes, Xerxes can work. We'll love it if we can get Eze. He's been good for Parasol, but might be like, there's English tax. I don't think Palace would. At least we know that Mbuemo was 50 million. I think Eze would be much more expensive. So, yeah. But yeah, like I says, we need to be proactive, and I agree with that. Right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate everyone getting involved. We'll be back probably tomorrow. We are back tomorrow with our end of season review. So please smash notifications so that it'll be me, Rich, Eddie. We'll be doing a live show reviewing the season, getting your thoughts and from the community in the chat to who we should keep, who we should sell, who had not a season with a player rating system. So please stay tuned for that at 10 p.m. BST as well. Remember, if you are new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter at Red Devil Studio X, also on Twitch as well. Have a nice day, guys, and cheers. Peace.